Hi, everyone. Welcome to Tangawizi podcast. I'm your host, Caroline Momanyi.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. Your host, Drasila Okola. We have not so much of a new face.
This one has become a regular.
Exactly.
Part of us.
Kikombe chake hata iko jikoni.
Kabisa. Hata yeye ndio ako kwa jikoni.
Si soko.
No, jikoni. Let's stick to jikoni. No, pia soko. You can be anywhere, by the way.
Right. Free movement.
Free movement. Good to have you back.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
For those who don't know, Caroline is my name, and I'm happy to be back to the hot seat.
Not so hot. Come on. What do you mean? You know, we had to have you back because when you came, you told us you work with women and girls.
Yeah.
And we were like, why don't we have a sit down with you and we really get to understand what is it that you do with these women and girls and why we should care about women and girls. Imagine.
Okay. Where do I begin?
Maybe from the beginning, but not so much. Just to tell our viewers today that the focus that we want to center our conversation around is for the women and girls. Why we should all care for women and girls, and just leaning into the work that you do and our lived experiences as women on the set. And we were once girls.
I'm still a girl. I'm just a girl.
Yeah.
Wow, interestingly, people say, oh, there's all the buzz about girls and young women, where is the boy child? But the reality is that we are far behind. We make one step forward and then 10 steps back. So from an eagle's eye, looks like we are doing so much for girls and forgetting boys. But reality, qua ground, we are making one step forward, 10 steps back. For example, right now, lived realities of girls. We are still struggling with girls accessing education. In 2025, yes. It could be one issue or another, lack of school fees. We say we have free education, for example, in Kenya, but how free is free? That's a question we need to interrogate.
Yeah.
We say we have schools in the villages, but are they accessible? I mean, online we've seen schools trending that are not really accessible to communities around them. But then you also think it in the context of a girl who they're not even able to access fresh drinking water. Accessibility to pads is a far-fetched dream. So when she's in her menstrual period, she stays home for the 3 to 5 days, others even 7 days.
Yeah.
So she misses school every month, missing 7 days of school. Cumulatively, how many days are those that she's missed out? And we expect her to compete equally with the boys who go to school every single day. They'll miss school because of one other reason that is not a natural factor. There are those natural issues like menstrual issues are not really us. We have no control over it. We don't choose that, this month I don't want to have my period, so I can focus on work, I can focus on my education. It's a natural cycle that we have. And as women, yes, we have embraced it, we love it, but it comes with a couple of challenges. There's pain to it. We are not able to access pads. Recently, there's been a trend, people are checking out their pads. Pads have molds. How safe are we even with these pads that we are using? So you see all these issues that keep coming up when we feel like, we are making progress, creating pads accessible to girls, and then boom, the pads we have in the market are full of molds, creating and affecting women in the long run.
Well, when you say the menstruation subject alone, for me, it's about the dignity that girls are not accorded. I happen to interact with girls who are like between 15, 16, and I was so heartbroken because I can imagine how it feels to leave the classroom to go to the guiding and counseling office to request for a pad. And they're not requesting because they forgot to carry one. they're requesting because they have no access. And in that office, that's the only place they can get. And even when that office, of course, it's not well financed. So probably they would call me or any other partners who work with them to even beg you and like, please, we don't have any pads. Can you? And you're thinking, wow, how is this destroying the self-esteem of these young women? You know, and we expect them to perform well. We expect them to have, a positive mentality, a positive outlook about their careers, their interest in life. When this one thing they don't have control over, they can't access it. They have to get it in very undignified ways.
Yeah.
You know, I had to beg the counseling team and tell them, please do not isolate them. So when you get these parts, can you give to everybody so that you don't feel like you are always
It's like a special case.
special
You've
case.
been put on the spotlight, like,
Yes.
those
Yeah,
ones
you
who
can't
have,
afford,
Yeah, but again, we know that is their reality,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
So,
And what that even exposes them to in society, because we find that now they're forced to interact with people to make money at a very young age, to be able to buy back their dignity by being able to afford their own pads. So because we've seen in society cases of young girls dealing with men who are predatory, literally, so that they can be given money and to be able to just buy for themselves pads. So that in itself is an issue that creates other bigger issues that really like just makes the situation really dire. And for me, like just touching on society and where we are at, you'd think we're in 2025 and we shouldn't even be speaking on these issues, but looking at societies maybe in Somali or whereby child marriage is literally like a thing. And today they say, they can only get married at 18. Then after 2 days when they realize what that decision means, they're like, actually, no. Yeah. Actually, we would continue like that. Yeah, we take back the autonomy. We take back, like, I'm like, at the end of the day, these are children. This is a girl. This is literally a baby. So, for me, it's very triggering.
it's weighty.
It's super triggering and so annoying.
I don't even know why we are laughing, even.
It's because
sometimes you just have to laugh because you can't really cry it out. Because when you think of the weight of some of these matters, there's the menstruation issue. Now we look at it from young women perspective when they are transitioning into the job market. Even before getting to the job market, within the higher learning institutions where we've seen trends on sex for grades, in 2025, it's still happening. But when this girl speaks up, she's told, oh, you wanted it, or you seduced the lecturer because you wanted to get the good grades, or you dressed in a certain way so the lecturer could not look at you in a different way but just sexualize you. But you see, nobody is questioning why did this lecturer look at this child in a sexual perversion way to want to have sex with them, to give them good grades, or to even just, not even good grades, to grade them. Because we know graduating in the Kenyan university is not easy. You could have completed school, but you're not on the graduation list because somehow, some way, your marks are not there, but you did the exam. So these dynamics become really challenging for girls. I know men will come and say boys experience them too, but in this context, we are speaking on what we have also seen, maybe not personally, but within our social spaces. These are conversations we have, and you realize, oh, wow, there's so much we still need to do to create a level ground where girls and young women can compete equally or have a level playing ground as their counterparts.
I think if we take it back a little to the younger girls, the very young, what sort of realities are there in 2025 that when we look at, we are like, hey, nothing has changed. Because again, the world is moving to the urgency to say, come on, things must be okay. You've been talking about this for long. But when you look at younger girls today, for example, I know we've had this conversation before, looking at the coastal context on how the very young, very, very young girls in the community, they're just, feeling very safe, and they've just been kids. And then you'd still see grown men starting to sexualize them, even in their conversation. Aka kanaka katakuwa kasupu sana. Katasumbua. And it was normalized.
My blood boils sometimes when you're in a space and be randomly just walking within a community, and a man would look at a young girl and say, hey, huyu akigrow atasumbua, ona your shape, she's so beautiful, she'll give boys trouble, she's so pretty, she'll probably end up being pregnant before she gets to the age of 18. My question is it a crime for her to be that beautiful as a young girl? At what point did we turn beauty, or her now blossoming to be a curvaceous young woman, to it being that she's welcoming sexual perversion to her? And you find that the same man who's making that comment is already seeing this young girl as a sexual object. So there's a very thin line or a gray area between this man actually making that approach and going and approaching that girl, because already would look around and see, oh, this girl is vulnerable. Number one, she's from an informal settlement. She has these needs that I know she has. So what would be an easy way out? I can spend a couple of thousands or hundreds or shillings to get her to my bed. I want to be the first one to enjoy this freshness before small boys get to exploit.
That is so triggering, and I feel like trigger warning throughout the entire episode, I guess. Yeah, because my thought is, why is it that society can't look at these young girls and say, how can we safeguard them? Because sometimes even that same man who's speaking like that at Yakaka or whatever, why is it that they would come and say, okay, I wouldn't do it, but I'm like, your language, what is your language encouraging, because you wouldn't do it, but what is stopping another man from doing that? Why are you not seeing this child as a child? Because that's what they are, literally. So to me, it's actually it's worrying, because a lot of people are like, a lot is changing, but actually a lot is not changing. Because when you look at how many girls even start off school, but how many girls get to the finish line, that's the question mark. Some would say, a lot more women are graduating, but then again, go back from those who we started with, how many have actually reached this point?
And I like how you're saying society, because then we also need to go back to ask ourselves, who is this society? Because the other reality in 2025 is that we are seeing children who are in homes that are perpetuating this. We are seeing children who have mothers that are the ones who are encouraging them to go out there and, engage in, I would say, defilement, because they are below 18, because they also want them to be the ones that are bringing income into the family. Where we are looking at society, that segment of society which is family, it's supposed to be safe, but we are seeing the very custodians of parenting, molding, protecting, are also contributing to these ills.
That is it. Then it makes me wonder, then why have these babies? Because, and also, it goes back to some of the things we believe as well. Like, have children so that it's a means out of poverty. Have 7 of them so that if 2 of them can't, at least you have 4 of them to bet on. Like, those are some of the crazy thought processes that we have. And I'm like, honestly, no, that's exploitation. You're having a child to exploit them. Because this is a person with their own autonomy. And this is a child. Actually, and they should be protected. That's it. So to me, as much as someone might come and say, but poverty is also a reason, all these things are factors contributing to this situation. But at the end of the day, these are kids, these are babies, they need to be protected. Because at the end of the day, even if, fine, you send out your child, you have that meal to eat for that day, or whatever need that this child met by doing that. So what does their future look like?
Docilla, let me take you back to what you've just said, that all this, it's easy for us to blame poverty as being a driving factor.
Yeah.
But with recent studies, and social media is a buzz with a lot of information, and a lot of girls are coming out naming and shaming perpetrators who defiled them when they were children. And you'll be very surprised, those who are actually even vocal right now on social media did not come from poor families. I'm sorry to use that term, but it's middle class to wealth family. But at that time, and they say, when they reported to either their mom or a guardian or someone else, or even spoke to the teacher, they were sent back to someone else because, one, if you reported to a teacher, the teacher was afraid to pick up the case because your parents have this image to maintain, or they have this influence. If the teacher was one to be vocal about the case, she or he stands at a risk of losing their job. So for me, poverty is not an excuse, or it's not a reason to say it's a contributing factor for increase or defilement, a teenage pregnancy. There's a root cause to that. It's people looking at children. These are just pedophiles, and we need to name the act to what it is. A pedophile is a pedophile, and unfortunately, we have women who are apologists to pedophiles, and they cover them because, this is my husband, I don't want to lose my marriage, because, again, society has put the weight of maintaining marriage on the shoulders of the woman. So the woman has to do whatever it takes to maintain that marriage. And because it's now that walking out of a marital institution has been normalized, but before then, it's been a struggle for a woman to get out. So yeah, it's crazy. It's
very layered.
It's really layered. By the time you sit down with some of these girls and have that conversation, and they tell you it wasn't the money, but this person just saw me and wanted to have his way with me in our own house. Maybe this is a relative that came to stay with us, and they decided to defile me, and I couldn't report to anyone at that time because of one issue or another, or they tried reporting the matter to someone, and the first person that they spoke to asked them to keep quiet and said, no, it will ruin your reputation. If everybody will know Caro is this girl who was raped, or Florence is this girl who was raped. So they decide to keep quiet because now the fear of having that shame, walking around with the shame, overwhelms you. So they keep quiet.
So the reality, we are saying that even in 2025, children are not safe in their homes.
No.
That even their own parents can be perpetrators. Their own siblings can be perpetrators. And even when they leave the home and then they go to the school,
they are not safe.
They are not safe. Because we have also seen incidences where even how some of the teachers perceive young girls.
Yes.
Yeah. They start looking at the young girls with the same lens. Yeah. You find a teacher writing to you, "Uyu mrembo wetu leo akona homework." Like, I was telling her,
let's just call the student by their name.
By their name. Why are you calling a student Mrembo?
Mrembo, yeah.
Yes.
And this is a child.
And to me, someone might say, like, it's never that deep, but it is deep.
It is.
Yeah. It's actually deep, and it's part of safeguarding.
Yes.
I feel like if everyone had like this safeguarding lens, then some of these things that seem, it's just light, it's just conversation, it would be, actually we can't speak like that, because when we speak like that, we are not promoting safeguarding. We're not safeguarding our children. And to me, another aspect of girls and children is social media, because now there's social media that has come into play. And yes, as a society, you actually, not even as a society, as a parent, you can sexualize your child or put them in a place whereby people who sexualize children have now an avenue to access your child through social media. And I feel like, fine, and these platforms also reward it, like the TikTok platforms, and like they're like, okay, they won't tell you to take down the video, especially if it's, fine, for example, a small girl wearing a very short shorts, and the comments on there are just very derogatory, and you just know, okay, you shouldn't be saying such things to a child. Yeah. So, of course, the fault is not on the child, and I wouldn't even fault the person posting the video. But then again, how does that add to safeguarding? How are you safeguarding your child by posting their video on social media?
I would fault the person who's posted the video, because in this era, in 2025, you cannot say you don't have the information. We have seen TikTok being taken on legal lawsuits in terms of data protection. And they have community guidelines. But interestingly, those community guidelines have nothing to do with child protection. That's why you see a lot of children being heavily sexualized on that app. In other countries, actually ban it because they know the level of sexualization that goes on that app is sickening. Today, go to any on any post and just throw in a comment of dead, mention the word dead, blood, suicide, your comment will be deleted automatically. But when it's a content and they know, they see this is a child and everybody is sexualizing this child, oh, she looks like she can get it, she can do this, she can do that. And these are old men or perverts who are doing this, those comments are not even taken down. Number two, still on blaming the person who's posted it. When you post those comments, they come in, you can still delete them. That's one way of safeguarding, but they choose not to delete them. That means they're encouraging that conversation to go on because they're looking at drawing in traction. So where are we drawing the line from wanting the money to come in and drawing the traction to the page and safeguarding your child?
Yeah.
Was this person even the right person to have a child? I wish the social protection unit in Kenya was really that tight. They would say, if this parent is sexualizing their child online, they're not fit to be parent and we can take this child away from you. But they don't do that.
And most importantly, this year when we are looking at ending gender-based violence, we are looking at it from the lens of the digital space. So what are these things? What are these violations that are happening to women and girls? Just because they are women and young girls. I mean, they are being sexualized by their own parents. That is one form. We are also seeing another form where unsolicited, your content is unrelated to whatever fantasies that they have.
But they take it there.
But they take it on you. And they look at you. They don't even listen to the message. You could be even been, saying the most politically incorrect, but they're not looking at that. Yes. They start looking at, I think I received my first hottest one most recently. And I couldn't believe it. And this person was, just decided, oh, so you, how can we even get to see your V? Yeah. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I was talking athletics. I'm like,
and it shifted to,
like, I wasn't even advertising underwear, And even if I was, it's uncalled for.
Yeah.
Like, what makes it okay for you
to say
something like that
to a person,
to a woman, to a girl?
And interestingly, now that we are looking at the digital space in general, I know various platforms have really tried to put in the guidelines, but still pedophiles and perverts find a way to navigate the system because of their insatiable thirst. They're now gotten to YouTube for Kids, for example. It's a children's platform. We know the content there has been filtered and all of that, but they still, if they see the page is owned by a child, for example, you open for your child a YouTube page so that they get to just watch the YouTube videos. There are people who come, because sometimes there are these live, the live shows that the kids are watching, but then on the comment section now, there's someone who's commenting, "Hi, beautiful, can we talk?" Or they go to the inbox and send them messages telling them how beautiful they look, if they can do a video call. They've even infiltrated the gaming space now. And they're looking for children, attacking their accounts, and making children do very crazy things for them because they have that access.
And you see, all this is for children. We haven't even gotten to the young women.
No.
These
are girls.
These are just
underage.
Yes.
And these are the things they're dealing with, like, on their
Yeah.
phones. And you can imagine if they are not supervised, like, you know, how many things they're entertaining and they don't even know how to navigate, how to engage, how to say, actually, no, like, we can't talk on, you know, why am I chatting with an adult and things like that. For me, I was at this event and we were talking about, is the algorithm African? So, and we realized that these social platforms are not really built for Africans because the assumption is we only speak the Englishes, the French, the German, the what, but the Kiswahili is not really there because there's a lot of data in Kiswahili on these platforms to be able to be able to create a platform that feels very African or very Kenyan in a sense. And a platform that is not created with you in mind, it's very hard for that platform to safeguard. It can't safeguard you. And that's why platforms like, even I would say all the platforms, social media platforms, if someone is writing like those messages in Kiswahili or in Kisi it can't pick it up. So the platform can't pick it up because it doesn't recognize the language. So essentially, for African users of these platforms, they have to be the ones doing the safeguarding for their own children. Because someone will write that comment in Kiswahili. Did the platform pick it that it was derogatory? No, it did not, unless they now write in English or in German. So to me, a good question, how are these platforms that are not necessarily built for Africans safeguarding Africans?
They will not safeguard you.
Yeah.
And you know also when we bring the aspect of language there, there's Kiswahili. But we all know it has its own other layers.
Exactly.
Yeah? Because
it's not just
because
Swahili.
even the terminology that individual used, even me, I was like, I'm getting the sheng on how the words are changing, and I could catch it, right? So you can imagine, when will this social media
algorithm catch all those things?
They cannot.
It's very hard for social media to catch all of that.
So our violation levels as young African girls, young African women, is on another level.
Yeah. And I think the pedophiles have realized that and they use it to navigate the system. Yeah. And talking about Kenya, right now, how our TikTok space has become something else. Like, it's just madness. It's ungovernable. And it's interesting to see that in 2025 we have young women who've gotten into relationships or marriages, feel confident to make content praising their abuser and saying, oh, he beat me, but at least he loves me. Or he beat me, but at least he takes care of the children. And you look at the work that has been done in the GBV space, the kind of policies that are in place, the awareness creation we have worked so hard to advocate for. And we are going back to that narrative of, oh, he beats me because he loves me.
And you see, we would say maybe in 2025, that shouldn't be there because for how long have we had that narrative? for quite a while that, you
Yeah.
know.
And for me, it's so dangerous
Yeah.
because I'm like, fine, he beats you and he loves you. Fine. Maybe you need to heal and figure out what that is for you. But you going and making it public online for another young girl to come and see and normalize that, now that's just being careless, literally, and not even understanding like what it means, you posting such a thing online. Like, what does that mean? Where is that taking us? In one breath we're saying like end femicide. In another breath this is also what we're saying. Like, I'm like, that's confusing.
It's conflicting actually. Yeah, like, what are you really saying? So in one breath you're saying we cannot do this because of poverty, you know, but in the other breath you're like, if this gets you out of poverty, you might as well do it.
Yeah, just do it. Yeah.
You know, so violence is violence, and it shouldn't be.
It should have been condoned at any
Or
level.
sugar-coated to look
Exactly.
like something else, because now it's becoming like a trend. There's even a group of young women who believe if your boyfriend or your husband does not beat you, he doesn't love you that much. And they're making it like a trend.
It's a group,
It's a group. So they're making it look like cool and everything else. So you can't be friends with us if your man doesn't beat you. And us, because we're in this group, we hang out, we do fun things together, because we are this group that gets beaten up by boyfriends. So you see, that's already creating unnecessary pressure around that kind of environment for the girls who are there. They'll feel like, oh, so my boyfriend doesn't love me enough to beat me. So my boyfriend doesn't love me enough to do this. And I want to be friends with Dosila, but Dosila gets beaten up and Dosila can't hang out with me because my boyfriend doesn't beat me. So they're feeling there's that form of fear of missing out from being part of this cool clique that get beaten up by their boyfriends.
And these
or
are young,
husbands. And these are young
impressionable
women. Yeah.
girls.
And also in 2025, the other reality
That's
that we are
crazy.
seeing is other forms of violence,
Okay.
not sexual, you know, not physical, but we're also seeing emotional, we are
Emotional
seeing
violence,
psychological,
physical
we are seeing
violence,
financial,
Sexual violence, yeah.
you know.
That's true.
And we are seeing women that probably had very good careers put into corners and told to give up their financial ability to make better decisions that do not expose them to some of these violations. We are seeing that. We are seeing women that are being even isolated.
Yeah.
Yeah? You're told once we are together, you can no longer speak to your family. You can no longer interact with, you know, I must control who. And people would think that that's okay.
Yeah.
It is not.
It's really not okay. And sometimes I get really worked up with this conversation because we have done a lot of work in terms of, we have policies. Right now, last year, the PADV rules were launched, right? And it's a framework on prevention for gender-based violence. We have safe spaces that the government has created. We have non-governmental organizations that have created safe spaces for young women, even girls. And there's also this information. But I don't know if it's not access to the information or what happens. The man tells you, we are married now. And because this job pays you 100K, and I earn like 300K, so you can quit that so that we depend on this man. But what the layers to that this man is not telling you is that once you come back to the house, you're expected to do the unpaid work, the unpaid labor in the house, meaning we'll no longer need a house girl in the house. You're not working, so this is the work you'll get to do. It's only just recently that the government of Kenya has acknowledged that women do a lot of unpaid work. Yes, and even the value that they've given to it in terms of the monetary value they've given to it, I still feel it's way less because there are even housemaids who get paid more, and the women do more than that in terms of unpaid labor. Anyway, that's a conversation for another day. But then the emotional manipulation that women go through, or young women go through, in the hands of an intimate partner, because they are sorting out bills, they are taking care of you. There's this common saying that he who feeds you controls you. So you cannot talk to Caro because Caro is a bad influence. Once she's single, she's not married, she has no children, so she has no opinion in what happens in your marriage. So you see, you've been isolated. You can't talk to your friends on what is bothering you.
You lack a social support
You lack
system.
a social support system. You don't have the financial strength to stand on your own and maybe just sustain yourself. So you're relying on this person. They're not only emotionally manipulating you, they're also financially abusing you. They're not giving you money for basic things, like you can't do your hair, you can't do your nails.
They're making you beg for it.
Yeah, you have to,
Dehumanizing
yes,
forms.
like you have to literally beg for
Yeah.
it. And they get to look at your shopping list that you've made for the house, and they're questioning why your pad's part of the shopping list, because it's not part of the household items. You need to take care of that. And they know you have no job. So you see how it's a really, it's a tricky balance, honestly, to say.
I mean, I like that you bring that up because it's important for people to also know that these are the realities.
On the
And that
ground.
is why we can't say it's enough. That the women and girls conversation, you guys have had a lot. You know, everybody's investing in you. But the realities are not changing. They
Yeah.
are not changing in our urban settings. They are not changing in our rural settings. They are not changing in our political, economic classes. They are not.
Religion is even worse.
Yeah, they are not completely. And we even saw the worst this week was what we shared of the Mexican president who was just violated in front of the whole world just because she's female.
Yeah.
Right?
Unfortunately.
You know, and we, like, she's protected, you know, she's the
Yes.
president, and this guy just grabs her and
Yeah.
it's like, Mimi,
So
come on.
that's the president
That's the president.
who has experienced that.
Yeah.
You can imagine someone at the community level,
What they're going through.
what they're going through.
Yeah.
This is a young girl trying to go to school, and then boom, things are happening.
Correct.
She can't go to school. She can't go back home because she's afraid. The terror in the house, the mother will beat her for being violated. Why did you allow this man to violate you? Why didn't you get to school? And she's even struggling amid the tears and the pain, explaining that I was going to school when this man interjected me on the way and defiled me, but the mother is raining cans on her.
And it's interesting how you say that, because I remember when I was in Form 3 and I was volunteering at a hospital. I remember very well, MP Shah. And I was going there, and you had to wear your uniform. So this is the first time I'm navigating town and all of that. I'm literally uniformed. This man is trying to talk to me, and no one had prepared. Like, he's a grown man. He's not a student like me. So he's talking to me, he's chatting me up, and I'm like, I don't even know how to conduct myself in this situation. And in my mind, when I went home, I'm thinking, that was a grown man.
That was unwanted conversation, actually.
Unwanted conversation. And I'm like, you see, I'm a student. I am fully clothed in uniform. But I couldn't tell even my mother, because my mother would be like, Sasa wewe umeenda, that's why I don't want you to go to that volunteering
men.
thing.
Yeah.
Because you want to go and you entertain men in the matatu. You want to chat men up in the matatu. And you're like, I didn't even ask for that interaction. Like, you are the adult. See that I'm a child. Like, that's the thing. Yeah. And for me, I think the thing that really riles me up is the people that hold this power, you know, and they like to say they don't hold this power, but they will use it when it's very convenient. Even the fact that women might be physically less stronger and you're more stronger than them. So, for example, you're walking home, it's late at night, yeah, and fine. People would say, why are you walking home late at night? But then again, I'm a human being. I'm
Why
allowed to
shouldn't
walk.
you?
Yeah. So you see this man, he's big, and he's like, I am already scared. And if the worst comes to worst, you know, only bad things can happen. And this person has used their power, their advantage, their physical advantage over you, and to take advantage of you. So to me, the thing about it is, year in, year out, we are doing this 16 days of activism. Yeah, I do believe, and I strongly believe, that we need to hold people accountable for their actions, because something needs to change. And even for me, that when I saw what happened to the president of Mexico, I was like, these men are not being punished enough. Because why? This is literally the president of Mexico, heavily guarded. How much more me?
On holding people accountable, I have an unpopular opinion to that. I think we need to start healing from mothers to fathers to sisters to brothers, so that we realize that what worked to you in the 1990s or 1980s cannot work in 2025 parenting. Because some of the conversation these girls are afraid of, or what they go through, and they're not able to go back, because your mother is supposed to be your safe landing, your first safe landing. But then when you go to your mother, she's the one who's telling you, you can't tell anybody this, you can't talk about this. And she's literally punishing you for being defiled. And it's because for her, she has normalized abuse, one, or family secrets, and it's strongly pegged on shame. Yeah, because like, what will people say? Or what will people perceive of the family? Or what will people perceive of me as the mother? Because at that time, I can guarantee you this mother is not looking at what impact all this has on this child, but she's looking at, oh my God, what will people say about me as a mother? I have failed, so my daughter was defiled. But she forgets that you're not part of this, what has happened. You need to look at how this is affecting your daughter in the long term. So if we all normalize going for therapy and recognizing our childhood traumas, I think we'll really bring up a better society.
That is true.
Because some of the perpetrators are doing it because it maybe happened to them when they were young. It's not that we are making an excuse for them, but we need to
break that cycle.
We need to break that
the
cycle
cycle
at some point, from the caregivers to the perpetrators, and now to the victims.
Yeah, and we're also adding our voice to say the realities of women on gender or sexual-based violence has not changed. So we cannot say there's been so much limelight. All we need to do is heal. All we need to do is have empathy and compassion. All we need to do is look at children with dignity, look at women with dignity. Yeah, so that we can have safer homes, safer schools. And we can have healthier, families. And we can also have women that are thriving.
Yes.
Not women that are walking around wounded, or children that are walking around wounded, And we also take this to also say that we are sorry that it is happening to the women. We can't normalize, not being empathetic as well. We are very sorry that it shouldn't be happening. And if this is happening to you, if you're going through any form of violence, we are sorry that it's happening to you. Yes.
And for me, what I want to say, in whatever context, violence is still wrong. Whether that man is protecting you, providing you, like he's in love with you. No, if he's beating you up, if he's doing unfair things to you, if he's denying you basic human rights, it's wrong. Wrong is wrong. It doesn't matter, like, even if it's happening in a home that you appear like you love each other. If wrong things are happening in that homes, wrong things are happening. They shouldn't be happening. And it has like a very bad ripple effect. And accountability. For me, accountability, people need to be held accountable for their actions, and we need to let go of this hush culture that we were told, you can't say that. What will it mean for this home? Why do you want to disrupt the joy the peace in this home? You are the disruptor in the home, all that. And also for me, I would also just say for the women, like even when you post something on social media, please understand that other women are also looking at what you're posting, younger girls especially, and whether we like it or not, they're young and impressionable. Yeah. So as much as you will post and say, I'm not accountable to anyone, you're not anyone's role model, but at the end of the day, I believe you're accountable still as you're posting it there. Because on one tone, you want us to look at you and listen to what you're saying. And then on the other tone, you want to retract yourself and say, you don't hold me accountable, don't listen to what I'm saying. So I'm like, okay, choose a stand. Yeah, actions also have like those ripple effects. Yeah.
For me, I would still insist. If we want to create a safe environment for girls, we need to start the healing from mothers. Mothers, you're responsible, or you are irresponsible. You need to heal your childhood traumas, heal whatever wounds you have, so that you're able to actually see what your girls are going through and recognize how your action or inaction is affecting them directly. Because if you miss it at that point of them being girls, then they get to be young women and still be mothers who will still do the same. So just because your parent did it to you does not mean you have to do the same thing to your child now. It didn't work because we can clearly see it through your child. How you were raised did not work, because if you're using the same hand or same yardstick to your child, you're missing the point. Then finally, let's stop victim shaming. The shame needs to be moved to the perpetrator. If the perpetrator did it, it's the perpetrator. Let's not say Florence, the girl who was raped. No, let's talk about Kariuki, who raped the girl.
Simple.
So that we are really shaming the act and not shaming the victim.
Exactly.
Because I think if we start...
Or the survivor.
Or the survivor. When we start looking at it from that perspective, it will have an impact. Because now, the perpetrators hide behind and say, oh, no one is even mentioning my name. So it's easy to get away with it at some point. But if it goes in record that, Kariuki, you raped a woman, it's on the media, and not that two girls were raped. No. We have two men,
Who
Peter
did
and
this?
Tom, or Tom and Paul, raped two girls. Then I think we can also make an impact that way.
Wow. Thank you so much, Caroline, for helping us go back and reflect on the realities of women and girls. And we urge all our Tangawizi followers, community, to be there for the women and girls. And there is no timeline. There is no timeline. It's never enough, as we need to keep the community, society safe for our women and girls to thrive.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us on this episode.